Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.
Hello there. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Genius. I am your humble host, Alex Spare, CEO and founder of Genius Juice, organic smoothies. We're not here to talk about our product. We're here to talk about entrepreneurs and their story, their products, their struggles, their victories, all the good stuff they want to find out about. So we got a really cool guest today, like a different product. Haven't had this type of product on the show before, so it'd be cool to talk about this. But before introducing her and the product, I want to give a big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N. at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. He's the guy doing the editing. Awesome guy. I just talked to this guy for an hour in the studio. We had a lapse between two guests for an hour. He came out from behind the big barricade. We sat down like human beings and we chatted about, I think, Mark, we chatted about Florida for about 20 minutes. We chatted about legal business law for 20 minutes, and we talked about your production studio for 20 minutes. Is that right?
That's right.
That's right. Okay.
Lots of good stuff.
That about summed up our conversation. Florida, business law, and production studios. So fun times. All right. So to roll into our guest here, her name is Raina Jain, and she is the founder of QueenBee. And a little bit about, she just started like 8 or 9 months ago. So it's like really new, but she's already getting a lot of momentum. So it's pretty awesome. She's getting into Whole Foods, North Atlantic, Northeast. So really awesome to see. A little bit about the company. QueenBee is an elixir shot infused with honeybee byproducts. The ingredients are royal jelly, raw honey, and propolis. Ginkgo Biloba, leaf extract, ginger, cayenne pepper, and turmeric. All our ingredients are sourced sustainably and fresh from honeybee hives and high-quality vendors. Raina, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on, Alex. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for staying up super late. Isn't it a treat? You work really freaking hard all day for like 14 hours, waking up at 6 a.m., and then 10 p.m., you don't get to rest. Now you're on a podcast with me.
Yeah, no, I'm usually up late, so it's a cool way to wind the day down for sure.
Love it. We'll make it as relaxing as possible. This is going to be part of, our goal is that you'll be so relaxed during this interview. At the end, you can just drift right to sleep. That's the goal here. So.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So, we always open up with talking about the product. It's been interesting. I've been a long time observer of the category for shots. Okay. And one thing that you told me offline is that the shots are shelf stable, that they're in glass, very premium looking, not using any plastic. I just want to open up with just a really interesting question about when you're going into stores and you're shelf stable versus refrigerated, like wellness shots are usually refrigerated, you're going into the shelf stable. How has that been, and how are you getting like consumers to notice the product when a lot of this category is really like the Vives and the Cores and all those are usually in the refrigerated aisle? So how has that been to grow your brand in a shelf stable aisle?
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. So I was debating both approaches when I was first starting out, but I think the sustainability and environmentally friendly part of the brand was probably the most important. So it made sense for us to stay true to our core and stay to that glass bottle, which I do think is makes us stand out on the shelves as well. But I think the most important thing we've gotten is that not because we're in shelf stable and we don't need refrigeration, it's been a lot easier to merchandise. So we're in the new Avon Whole Foods store that just opened on September 1st. We got like a really cool grab and go box right next to the self-checkout section, and it had like a little story of the brand and how I got started and the recipe and everything along those lines. And so it's definitely given a lot more flexibility in terms of the merchandising. And not only can we be in those refrigerated sections just like our competitors are, but also in cool places like that grab and go box next to the self checkout. So that box is turning out most of our sales. So I think being a shelf stable product is definitely one of the more important parts of the brand for sure.
Exactly. A shot is one of the few things that can taste fine, whether it's shelf stable or refrigerated. Like a lot of coconut waters to me don't taste good unless they're refrigerated, or kombuchas or whatever. But you have a product that can be double placed, which is really cool. So and helps your brand and grows your brand. When looking at your product, you have two things going on. I did this with my hands. Two things. I only needed one hand for that. You are putting in turmeric, ginger, and other kind of, immunity boosting, type of ingredients, but you're also putting in honey. You have a history with honey. You have a history with bees, even though you're allergic to bees, what you shared with me offline, which is a funny irony in this entire thing. It's like me being allergic to coconuts and, coming out with coconut drink. But just tell me, when looking at this type of product, why honey? Why did you put it in there? What are the benefits of honey, and what type of, you said there's propolis, royal jelly. Tell us more about these ingredients and how they work.
Sure. So it actually, like, my fascination with honeybees started in high school about 3 years ago now. So my junior year of high school, I joined the science research program at my high school, obviously, and I was thinking of products to pursue. And a family friend up in northern Connecticut asked my family to come and visit his hives, and he said he was cleaning out his hives. And I didn't know what that meant, but when I visited, that basically meant taking piles and piles of dead bees that didn't make it through the winter and throwing them into the bushes. And for me, I'm a Jain, and although I don't like associating myself with the religion itself, I do believe in its underlying principle to live and let live, and to value every life, no matter how small. And so my parents brought me up with this principle of, hey, even if there's an ant, don't kill it. Like, take it nicely outside, and don't kill any animal. I grew up a vegetarian, and still am trying to transfer into a vegan. And so for me to see thousands of bees dying for really a human-induced cause, that struck a chord in my heart. And so I went back to high school, and I said, let me create a device. So I actually have it right here. It's pretty simple. It's a device to eliminate varroa mite infestations from honeybee hives, which is the root cause of conning clap disorder. So it's like a 3D printed entranceway with holes, coated with thymol. And as bees pass the entranceway, the thymol rubs onto the body of the bee, where ultimately the concentration which kills the varroa mite is reached and guarantees the death of the parasite, but the honeybee is left unharmed. And so I was working on this for about 2 years. In my senior year of high school, COVID hit and my lab shut down. And there was this one article that went viral, and I got, I don't know how many emails and thousands of pre-orders in a matter of weeks. And that's when I was thinking entrepreneurship is so cool. And then a couple of weeks after that, when I was trying to get it tested by hundreds of beekeepers throughout the United States, my lab shut down. And that's when I started thinking, okay, why is it just beekeepers who have the power to save the bees? Shouldn't it be everybody, non-beekeepers as well? The scale of impact is so much greater that way. And I had a beehive in my backyard, an experimental beehive, where I used to take, this wasn't the sole purpose, obviously, but I used to take raw honey and royal jelly and propolis from the hive and mix it with ginger and turmeric, which are common spices I've been growing up with since I'm from an Indian background. And I used to concoct this elixir shot in my kitchen, just to boost immunity in COVID. And so when my beehive died because of CCD, I looked to the market for similar products, but the only thing that I found was this really spicy and coarse ginger shot that a kid couldn't even take. So I thought, what if there's a market need here, and what if I can commercialize this product, but this time for every bottle sold, a pollinated tree is planted, incorporating that one-to-one mission model within the brand. So
that's your mission. Yeah. So whenever a bottle is sold, you're donating it. What is the nonprofit you're donating it to? It's
trees.org. So for every bottle sold, they're able to plant a pollinated tree in sub-Saharan Africa.
Gotcha. That's great. Tell us about the benefits. I've just heard about this for so long, and actually it's funny. For a brief moment of time, I actually worked for a honey company. A lot of people don't know that about me.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they were in Brentwood, and very small company, and I did some marketing there, and that's how I kind of learned part of the food and beverage business. But I remember what they did was they would put in honey, royal jelly, propolis. What are the benefits of these ingredients, like what does it do to the body to drink this?
Sure. So yeah, sure. So I think the most important ingredient that I think we speak to, especially in our marketing, is the royal jelly. So all the bees are born the same, and one bee is fed this one substance called royal jelly. Just because of that one substance, it eventually becomes the queen bee, hence the name of their brand. And it's able to lay 25,000 eggs a day. 2,000 eggs a day. It's able to live 25 times longer than all the other bees, solely because it was fed this one substance. And so it's really difficult to source, but just because of recent technology, you're finding it more in like cosmetic products and food products. And so the uses date back to Cleopatra and Pope to increase life longevity. And the main purpose of it is natural energy and immune support. And then the turmeric is known for anti-inflammation, and the ginger is also for immune support and antioxidants. So it's a good mix of, I think, the like essential nutrients all packed into a small 2-ounce shot. And one question that I always had, that I used to even ask my mom growing up when she used to feed me all the since I was a kid, was, why do good for you products have to taste so bad? And that's a narrative that I'm trying to change. That it doesn't have to be like that. That you can have like a nutrient filled shot with all your daily needs, and it can taste good. You can enjoy it while you're drinking it, for sure.
Yeah, that's really, I think we talked about that a lot on the show, which is where taste and nutrition really come together. They come crashing together, and they have both of those. I can tell you that your shot is way better tasting than the one I take every morning, right? I would love to start taking your shot, like once it's more available on the West Coast. I guess I can order it online, right? Little plug there, ordering online. So, by the way, the website, is it Queen, what's the website? Just because I'm bringing
It's
it up.
the-queenbee.com.
Okay, the-queenbee.com. Make sure to get your shots. There's a website right there. So, but my shot is terrible. It's healthy. It's very healthy, but I do turmeric, like cold pressed turmeric. I do flaxseed oil, and I do apple cider vinegar and black cumin seed oil. And it is the most disgusting shot ever. Like it's like when I drink it, it's like I'm gagging. And like in the morning, it's funny, like my wife hears me, because sometimes I wake up early, and then she hears me go like that. Like that's how bad it is. But I feel good. So it's cool that you made it actually taste good, so people don't have to suffer, because like not everyone is me. I don't think I'm representative of the like the exact target market, where I'm just on this level of like having things that taste terrible, and I'm okay with that. But most people are not okay with that. So there you go. So tell us about the opportunity, I guess, on where you want to take this, because it is a somewhat kind of niche product, but it's in a category that's growing. Do you see this being mainstream? Do you see this just more like online, Amazon, and specialty stores, or where do you want to take this?
Yeah, so we're really pushing retail right now. I think one, we like to measure our growth by obviously the revenue and the profitability of the company, but another big aspect to it is um, the social impact, the amount of trees planted, the amount of carbon dioxide taken out of the environment, the amount of bee colonies restored. And one thing that I really want to prove through QueenBee is that it's possible to have a for-profit company with a non-profit mission mindset. In fact, I think that's a good way to maximize both profitability of the company and social impact. And the two are not mutually exclusive, that they can go hand in hand, and they do. And so that is one of my main goals of QueenBee. And I have a goal of eventually being able to plant 100 million trees through QueenBee. And I saw this article of a Brazilian couple whose land, because of some forest fire, completely got devastated. And in a matter of 2 decades, they were able to plant 2.7 million trees. And I remember thinking, okay, if two couples were able to do this, what can I do with a brand of thousands of supporters, where this one-to-one model is embedded within the brand itself? So that is my future goal of what I hope to see through QueenBee. Of course, it goes both ways, both that profitability and social impact is 2 ways that we measure the growth of the company. And in terms of like growing the brand, we the product is actually not very shipping friendly. And so what we're doing right now is we're formulating the formulation is done, but I'm creating 2 additional powder products, which are like, think of it like good for you pixie sticks. It's like a, I don't know if you're familiar with the candy, but it's similar in a similar sachet where it's like vitamin C, propolis, zinc, has for immune support. And then we have another SKU for relaxation where you kind of just grab on the go and you can take it in your mouth and no water is needed. So if you're traveling, for example, and you want to boost your immunity, that would be a good way to do so. So we want to push that through direct to consumer and through QueenBee itself, because we're already in retail, we do want to push that route as well. We do think that it's a good way to generate brand awareness. So we're trying to get into other retailers in addition to our account at Whole Foods.
So it's awesome because you're building like a platform brand, which is really important. I think a lot of founders get stuck with only one product. There's other shots that are out there that I feel like they get stuck. Just like Monfifo to me is an example. Monfifo I think uses honey. They're a shot. They're in Whole Foods, but it's been hard for them to really expand and get out of that. They have like two SKUs. You're really promoting more of like a lifestyle brand, right? You're not just all about honey. That's part of it. That's the mission. That's the backbone of your product and brand. But you're also just promoting like a healthy lifestyle, relaxation, immunity boosting, anti-inflammatory. I really, really like that direction. So, and it's a powder. How does a powder, like, I've never actually ingested, I guess there's pixie sticks, but as far as supplements, just powders on its own, how are you able to, like, swallow that? It's powder going in your mouth. Like, what's the experience? What's the taste of that?
Yeah, so it's both the SKUs are actually kind of sweet, and it tastes kind of like candy. Actually, the sugar is less than 2 grams.
It's from honey, right? The powder.
Um, well, yeah, there is. It's actually propolis and honey powder as well. So it kind of just dissolves in your mouth. So when people say powder, like, yeah, how do you ingest that? It's similar to the pixie stick. It's based off that same model where once you take it, it dissolves on your tongue, and it's very easy to take. And so that's the same idea, is that we want to make good for you products taste good. They're not mutually exclusive as well.
Yeah, and it's cool because a lot of brands, we talked about this actually in our last episode with Mli, the chocolate company,
Yes.
the cookies company, and they're bringing like it's vintage packaging, vintage idea, something from the 80s or 90s as a child. You grow up and you can still kind of you can have this kind of product, right, where it's like a pixie stick looking thing, reminds you of your childhood, but a lot healthier. And I think a lot of brands are kind of going back to like childhood type products to get people to buy it. Like, oh, that connects with me emotionally as a child. I'm going to buy that. So I like the direction. And you're going to sell this on Amazon as well, right? It's Amazon friendly. So are you currently on Amazon right now?
We're not. So for our biggest focus for the shot itself is retail, but when we do launch because it's glass, it takes a lot more money to ship than
right.
It's
heavy
kind of economical.
breaks.
So,
yeah.
Right, exactly. We have had some shipping breakage within fulfilling direct-to-consumer orders, so that's why we're trying to kind of push the powder packets to be more our direct-to-consumer focus.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart idea. Other brands are doing this in different ways, like Recess. They went into a relaxation powder. You have to add in water, different from yours where you can eat it straight. So I like that direction. I think that's a great additional line. So very, very cool. Anything else that, you're 10 months in before we get to our next segment? Is there anything else that you would like to share with entrepreneurs that are watching or listening about how you've built the brand so far? What are some, struggles or challenges that you went through, and what was your learning? So I guess let me back up. My question is, what has been the main challenge or struggle that you've had so far, and how are you actually breaking through and resolving that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think it comparatively to other brands, I guess we're still relatively new, but me being, I think people say is that like, okay, like you are a young founder, what are the drawbacks of it? And I have to say that when you don't know what you can't do, you do it anyway, and then you get it. And so lots of times my naiveness and I guess even stupidity in a way has gotten me the opportunities I needed. I remember when I was listening to this one podcast by Super Coffee, which is a brand that I really think is doing cool stuff. And when they were first getting started, one of the brothers said that they just took their product and they that they made in their college dorm, and they walked into a local Whole Foods and asked the store manager to put it on their shelf. And this was like 7 years ago, 7 years ago. And 8 months ago, I was like, hey, that's interesting. Why can't I do the same thing? So I bought bottles off Amazon and I made it in my parents' kitchen. This recipe was passed on from my grandmother, so the formulation was quite simple. And I drove around to my first Whole Foods and they said, asked for the store manager, asked for a chance to put it on their shelf, and they said no. Then I went to the second Whole Foods and they said no. Then I went to third Whole Foods and they said no. I think I went to, I don't know, yeah, I feel like I literally went to every Whole Foods in the tri-state area, and then realized that that's not how it works anymore. And then one person told me that, hey, now you have to go through corporate, you have to know people called buyers. And I remember thinking, what are buyers? And but it was interesting because when I was pitching those store managers, at the time I thought I was doing like such a good sales pitch as an 18-year-old naive person. And now looking back, it's like, oh, there comes that pitiful woman again, begging me to put it on their shelf. And then I went online and I emailed, I think, every buyer I could possibly find. And the one person who took me in actually recognized me from HiveGuard, which was my science fair project. So it kind of went full circle. But I think that part was definitely the hardest part. I have never heard that many no's in my life. And there were times where, and it sounds easy, I guess, to just like walk into the Whole Foods. But and I think at the time I was 18 years old and having like bottles made from your parents' kitchen and sitting in your car and thinking, how do I get up the courage to go up to the store manager and ask them? Because you have to be comfortable with looking, quite frankly, like utterly stupid sometimes. And I still remember my parents thinking like Raina, what are you doing? Like, what are you thinking? And just to avoid that, I'd wake up at 4 a.m. and make the product. And then I'd be out by 5 and I'd be driving around to all the Whole Foods and probably be back before 10 when my parents woke up. And so they wouldn't question what I was doing, because it looked really dumb, and I can't blame them. But one thing I have to say is that,
right, these are all things these are all things where, it's kind of like reminds me of the Steve Jobs quote. Usually the ones that are crazy enough to change the world usually do, where you got to be a little bit crazy. Like what Raina's doing here, right, for our viewers is seen maybe from the outside as crazy by certain people, right, like friends or maybe some family members. But at the end of the day, you're getting into Whole Foods, like you're getting into 2 regions in the next couple months, and you're going into a category which is popular and there's traction. So like from this crazy beginning idea of having turmeric, ginger, a family old recipe, putting honey in there, putting propolis, royal jelly, you're onto something. You're onto something, you're seeing traction, and it's being adopted. So I don't think it's that crazy after all. And it doesn't matter, honestly, it doesn't matter what people think. Like people that, whether it's a friend or someone that says something, all that matters is what the customer says. That's all that matters. And if they buy your product and they love your product, that's what's gonna prove everyone else wrong. So, and it feels good. Honestly, like I've had a lot of people in my corner that have supported me, but also I've had people that are like, what the hell are you doing? You're cracking open coconuts at 4 a.m, scooping out the meat in the water and blending it and like Vitamixes at 3 a.m. We're proving those people wrong. And you know what? It feels good. It feels really good. So I'm sure you're having that same feeling, like you're getting traction. It's like, okay, told me I couldn't do this a year ago. Look at me now. I'm in Whole Foods. So it's good stuff, right?
Yeah, no, it's cool for sure. Yeah, definitely.
It's a good payoff.
For sure.
I mean, Elon Musk, like 10 years ago, what the hell are you doing? Or 12 years ago, dumping all this money, using your life savings for Tesla. He's now the 3rd richest man in the world. So,
right.
Success is the best revenge, right?
Exactly. And I think the biggest, principle that I learned was my parents always instilled in me this this value of, it doesn't matter that I could say you're stupid and your father could say you're stupid and your best friends could say you're stupid, but if you believe that it is the right thing to do, and if you believe it has potential, then you do it. So when it came to the time where everybody was questioning, like thinking, Raina, what are you doing? For the 18 years that they prepared me, that they instilled in me this principle, I think that was kind of like a testament to Raina, now don't give up. So it really, so much of it is thanks to my parents for instilling me that principle. And it's cool, just like you said, to prove so many people wrong, and have that kind of as a backbone of your business and come back that much stronger. So for sure. And I look up to people like you who have, we're not even near the scale that you are. And that is definitely one of my goals. But yeah, it's cool to have role models who are in your steps, and you hear their story so raw and so bare, and you said, okay, like they've done it, they've been through the same stages as I was, why can't I do that? So yeah, it's cool to hear founders just like you who laid it so raw and bare, for upcoming founders like me.
Oh, thank you, Raina. That really means a lot. It's probably one of the best compliments I've gotten from all the different episodes here. So I really appreciate that. I'm happy to be an inspiration to others, and others have inspired me along the way to help me build this company to what it is today with Genius, and happy to help others at the same time. I would not be here without the help of others, and so it's good that it's good to have good people around you to help you build your vision to what you want it to be. So thank you for your compliment. That means a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
So let's get into our next segment, which is called Rapid Fire Questions.
Rapid fire questions.
All right. So I think you've seen some episodes, so you kind of know how this goes, but these are all new questions. So we have not aired any episodes yet with these new questions. So if you watch some older episodes trying to prepare for this, you can throw all that out the window. These are all new questions. So.
All right, cool. I'm excited.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, and you know the drill. Just answer them as quickly as you can, whatever comes, to your mind first. All right, so for music, which decade is best, the 70s, 80s, or 90s?
90s.
Yep, I could have guessed that one. What do you do for, yeah, what do you do, because you're, millennial, so what do you do for exercise?
I run long distance.
Cool, yeah, me too. Yeah, how many miles do you run?
I saw that. I ran my first full marathon, I think October of last year, so just 1 year from yesterday, but usually run about 6 miles a day.
6 miles a day. Wow. Okay. I think you have me beat. I don't run every day. So, just take a lot of collagen. That's for your bones and joints and all that. Cause man, if you run for a long time, many years, everything starts breaking down. So I've learned to take a lot of collagen to like reinforce, make sure I don't like break down when I'm running. So anyway, but you're not there yet. You're good. So, third question, movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
The Greatest Showman.
Great. Is that the Hugh Jackman movie?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, the magic movie, right? Okay.
The magic show, yes, exactly.
Cool. Chocolate or vanilla for flavors?
I was a vanilla person, but now I'm chocolate.
Right on.
All the way.
It's the U.S. effect, right? It's chocolate. Everyone loves chocolate here. All right. Favorite country to travel to? It could be back to home country. It could be to other, wherever you want.
I went to Peru recently with my family. I really love Peru.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Favorite Star Wars character?
I am not a Star Wars person at all. Is it the keep the green? Is it the Yoda?
Yeah, the baby Yoda.
The baby Yoda. Yeah, I'll say that one.
Yeah, that one's good. He's become very popular. For anyone that doesn't know Star Wars, that's their like go-to. It's like, oh, the baby Yoda one, the one I see in Target as a pillow. All right, so I can't believe he got so big. I mean, what happened to the old Yoda, right? The old dude, He's been replaced
yes.
by the baby cute Yoda. Just people. All right. So what is your spirit animal?
Oh, my spirit animal? It's a good question. I probably a cheetah. I like cheetahs a lot. I guess a cheetah.
Running. That makes too much sense.
Run. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Fastest animal in the world, right? All right. I think they can go up to 50 miles an hour or 60.
It's crazy.
I read. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think something crazy like that.
Yeah, I'm glad that cheetahs don't hunt humans, because we'd be screwed. All right. So, do you like to drive an SUV, a coupe, or a truck?
Probably a Cooper, Mini Cooper. That'd be cool.
Cool, Mini Cooper. You have to watch the movie. What is that? Can't believe I just forgot. Not. It's a heist movie where they're driving Mini Coopers. Italian Job. You got to watch Italian Job. Yeah,
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, they're riding all Mini Coopers. It's cool. For food, salty or sweet?
Sweet. I'm a sweet tooth.
Same here. Favorite day of the week and why?
I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, all weeks are the same. Like you can't really differentiate between Friday and Monday. So
all blurs together. Yeah, our last guest said the same thing. Is like, there's days in a week. Just a continuous day where it gets light, dark, but it's all the same day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you use Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
If you watch sports, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? I know MJ's before your time, but
actually Michael Jordan. His story. He got when I tried out for I suck at basketball, but I tried out for the basketball team like 6 years in a row and got cut every time. So when I hear that he got cut and he became the coolest basketball player, I was like, there's still hope for me. not that I do think there's hope, but it's cool. His story is quite inspirational.
Totally. Yeah, like The Last Dance, that special about him and his life and basketball and his family. I think I remember reading something where I can't remember exactly what product it was. It might have been Thomas Edison or it was someone maybe more modern, but they pitched their product for in front of 100 different people. They all said no. Finally, someone said yes, and it was like $1 billion idea. So those stories are definitely, those are inspirational. All right. Again, this one, not sure if you've seen these movies. Terminator 1 or Terminator 2? Which one you think is better?
I'm not a movie person at all.
Okay, I will skip that one. So, favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island? You cannot say QueenBee and you cannot say Genius Juice.
Oh man. There's probably like mango lassi, which is like this Indian like mango smoothie that my mom makes for me. So probably that. Yeah,
it's mango with like yogurt in it, right? I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a small shake, exactly.
Yeah, it's like an Indian delicacy. Yeah, I love those. Those are so good. They have like mango lassis at Sprouts, but you got to go to like an Indian restaurant and get the real one.
You got to go to an authentic Indian restaurant to have real lassi. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think Ralph's or Vaughn's really does it justice. So anyway, well, that is Rapid Fire Questions with Raina Jain, founder of QueenBee, the elixir. Awesome. Keep it going for her.
Thank you so much for having me on. This was super fun.
Absolutely. So, thank you again. And for anyone who wants to buy your products, the-queenbee.com. Hopefully soon on Amazon. When do the powders come out again? Do you know?
In about 3 months, they'll be ready for shipment and on all online accounts. So Amazon and our website.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, Raina. Have a wonderful night. And thanks for staying up late. So have a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. So that is episode 109 of 15 Minutes of Genius. Big plug for Mark Nicholas, Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net for all your editing desires. Really, people, I know I say it a lot, but reach out to this guy. I mean, I had an hour-long conversation with him, as mentioned. This guy knows his shit. Like, he is really good, like professional studio, do your own podcast here. get some product photography going. He has a full studio built out to do product photography. We did product photography here. He's great. So make sure to reach out. I'm serious about that. I can't really, enforce it, but I just really strongly encourage, do it. Just do it. Reach out. All right. So again, 109 in the books. And one last thing, stay genius, my friend.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.